In the world of performance cars, rivalries define everything. Not just speed, not just power, but identity. And among the most iconic rivalries, two names stand above the rest: the BMW M3 and the Mercedes-AMG C63. Two machines, two philosophies, two completely different ways to define performance. This is not just a comparison. This is a battle between precision and power, between control and chaos, between engineering and emotion. To understand this rivalry, we have to go back to the beginning, because the M3 and the C63 were never meant to be the same. They were built with different visions, different goals, different souls. The BMW M3 was born from racing, from the need to create a machine that could dominate on the track. Lightweight, balanced, precise. A car designed to be controlled with surgical accuracy. Every movement, every turn, every input calculated. The M3 wasn't about brute force, it was about mastery. On the other side, the Mercedes-AMG C63 had a completely different philosophy. It wasn't born from restraint, it was born from power, raw, unfiltered, explosive. Where the M3 focused on balance, the C63 focused on dominance. A massive engine, aggressive sound, unmistakable presence. It didn't ask for control, it demanded respect. And that's where the rivalry begins. Because when these two cars meet, you're not just comparing specs, you're choosing a side. Precision or power, control or chaos. Let's start with design. At first glance, the differences are clear. The BMW M3 looks sharp, focused. Every line, every detail feels intentional. It's aggressive, but controlled. Nothing is excessive. Everything has a purpose. Now look at the Mercedes-AMG C63. It's wider, bolder, more intimidating. The front grille dominates your attention. The stance feels heavy, powerful. Where the M3 is precise, the C63 is intimidating. And that contrast continues under the hood. The M3, with its turbocharged inline-six, delivers power smoothly, predictably. It builds speed with control, with precision. But the C63 is something else entirely. Its V8 engine doesn't just deliver power, it explodes. Every press of the throttle feels violent, unpredictable, addictive. And then comes the sound. The M3 sounds refined, engineered, controlled. But the C63 roars. It doesn't just make noise, it announces itself. Loud, aggressive, unapologetic. And this is where opinions begin to divide. Because for some, the M3 is perfection, a machine that responds exactly how you expect, predictable, controlled, precise. For others, that's exactly the problem. Too perfect, too calculated, too safe. And that's where the C63 wins, because it feels alive, it feels dangerous, it feels like it could get out of control at any moment. And for many drivers, that's exactly what makes it exciting. Now let's talk about performance. On a racetrack, the M3 often has the advantage: better balance, better cornering, better control. It allows the driver to push harder, to trust the car, to find the limit and stay there. But in a straight line, the C63 fights back. Its power delivers instant acceleration, raw speed, and a feeling that's hard to match. So, which one is faster? It depends. Track or street? Control or power? Because speed is not just numbers, it's experience. And that's what makes this rivalry so special. Because it's not about which car is better, It's about which car feels right to you. As technology evolves, both cars continue to change. The M3 becomes more advanced, more refined. The C63 becomes more efficient, more modern. But something interesting happens. With each new generation, some fans begin to question, are these cars losing their identity? Is the M3 becoming too digital? Is the C63 losing its raw V8 character? And once again, the debate begins. Old versus new, emotion versus technology, feeling versus performance. But no matter how much they change, one thing remains true. This rivalry never dies because it represents something bigger, two philosophies, two identities, two ways to experience driving. And in the end, there is no right answer, only preference. Because some drivers want control, they want precision, they want the confidence to push a car to its limits, and for them, the M3 is perfect. Others want excitement, they want power, they want a car that feels alive, and for them, the C63 is unbeatable. And that's what makes this rivalry legendary. Because it's not just about cars, it's about emotion, it's about identity, it's about what driving means to you. So, which one would you choose? Precision or power? Control or chaos? The answer defines the driver, and that is what makes this battle unforgettable. But maybe this rivalry is not really about choosing a winner. Maybe it's about understanding something deeper. Because cars like the BMW M3 and the Mercedes-AMG C63 represent more than performance. They represent eras, they represent philosophies, they represent different ways of thinking about what a car should be. There was a time when cars were simple, raw, mechanical. You felt everything, the engine, the road, the imperfections. And in that world, cars like these were born, machines built not just to move, but to be experienced. But today, things are changing. Cars are becoming quieter, more efficient, more digital, more controlled. And while that brings incredible performance, it also raises a question. Are we losing something? That raw connection, that emotion, that unpredictability? Because when you drive a car like the C63, you don't just control it, you fight it, you respect it, you feel it. And when you drive a car like the M3, you don't just react, you become precise, you become calculated, you become better. And maybe that's what makes these cars so special.